There are some principles that lead you on the path from knowing a truth to demonstrating a truth. And it's what I call the 3 Ds of demonstration. The 3 Ds of demonstration. The first of those, the first D is discernment. The second is decision. And the third is dedication. So discernment. Discernment could also be called getting beyond your ever-so-stuck denial. I mean, mine. You know, I'm sure you don't have any of that. Right? Discernment, getting beyond denial. Looking at your life in order to say, this is the spiritual truth that I know, and here's what's in my life. So let's just take the spiritual principle, God is my source, and the consciousness of God is my supply. Have you all heard that before? And then you have to look to see, what are you demonstrating in your life? If you have even the remotest fear or anxiety about your financial well-being, you are not demonstrating that truth principle in your life. You're not mastering it. You're not mastering it. You have the intellectual knowing. Maybe you have some comfort from it. At what level have you mastered that truth principle? How about the spiritual principle, all things work together for good, for those who love the Lord. All things work together for good. So if you find yourself possibly complaining or angsting about any situation in your life, rather than standing firmly in your faith and knowing, all things work together for good for me. That's just it. That's my bottom line. I may not like its current circumstance and expression, but all things work together for good. So I give you a little worksheet in the handouts that are in your program today. There's the 3-point summary, that's the 3 Ds of demonstration. And then on the back of that, I wrote some spiritual principles, and I asked you or gave you the opportunity to take this home and look at it and start writing for yourself, what am I actually demonstrating in my life? What's showing up? What concerns do I have? What conversations am I engaged in? Where am I showing up in the fullness of my God self on earth? And where is there still opportunity for me to grow? Okay? So the first D, discernment. Getting beyond your denial of where your life is actually being demonstrated in terms of truth principle. The second D is decision. You know, this really is the point where you say, I'm not going to live like this any longer. How different would our lives be if we just did what we know? How radically different. Do you know I make my entire living supporting people and doing what they know? That's right, what do coaches do, right? What do coaches do but remove the blocks and barriers that people have in their personality and their psychology to have them move forward and actually do what they know. In fact, 90% of the people who hire me to coach them hire me saying, Jackie, I know what to do, I just need some support in doing it. How many of you can relate to that, right? How different would your bank account look if you saved more than you spent? How different would your body look if you actually got out and did the exercise 5, 6, 7 times a week? Changed your eating habits? How different would your body feel if you fed it nutritious, healthful foods, high energy, high vibration? We know these things. How much are you demonstrating in your life? So number 2 is you make the decision. You say, yes, Lord, yes. You hear that inner voice, that inner call. I know you've all got it. I know you've all got it. Because that's how God speaks to and through you, through your desires. Through your desires. So you hear that call that you've been saying, I'll get to that. I'll get to that, God. Yeah, no rush, no hurry. I'll get there. And you say, like, no. I'm not putting this off any longer. I'm going to begin demonstrating what I know. You make the decision. You say, yes, Lord. And that's where it starts getting interesting. Because then what do you have to do? You have to dedicate your life to it. You dedicate your life to it. You dedicate your life to a new way of being.